So this is day 3 of the 77-day stillness. And I'm just going to breathe it out, okay? So, I've heard it said before, and I cannot recall the source right now, but it has to do with humanity as a whole, where the biggest frustration we have is that whatever image we have in our mind, it's not what we have in our lives. And you could also think of that as what we get frustrated because of controlling things that we cannot control, and yet not controlling the things that we can control. And there's a big gap to that. So when you look into, when I look into trying to control like certain relationships or how people think of me, there's a lot of tension there. There's a lot of hurt, pain. When I try to control, like, this is the image of how much I should be making versus what my true heart's calling, screaming for me to do, there's a frustration, a pain there. And over the years, I've tried to just chop down the woods where I stopped the things that are uncontrollable, just let it go, surrender to it. And the things that I can control, which is really yourself. Because the Bible said the first thing that was given to us, both Adam and Eve, right down to the whole family of creation, is dominion over everything on the earth except other people. And yet we are so good in trying to control other people. If someone comes to us about their dreams, and our advice is tainted with bias because we want our advice to hit them where it's gonna somehow serve us. And over the years, I've done that. But I see it's not just that. The thing that came up for me today was even letting go of the identity that I've hold on to, the stories. So a key point is, I used to be great and fascinating with marketing, and people will just, they'll just be stunned because the way I market their stuff and products and businesses. And I have great alien marketers under my care, and we do all kind of crazy things. And I'm in a point where I gave that up freely last year, December. And I still get emails from people who still wants to take on, but that's something I need to let go. Now I know God does not let you go experience or do something that He's gonna leave it there. I'm sure it's gonna be used sometime in the future, but the old way of doing things, I have surrendered that, I've given that up. And it wasn't a hard thing for me because basically God has been coaching me for like 2 years to freely surrender that. And this whole notion of controlling, it's just, there's a lot of force that you must put if you are striving and forcing things to happen. Because of most of the success programs out there, teachers, they tell us you got to do this, no pain, no gain. And to a context of, you gotta stress. And I've been learning, especially since last year, is there are so many unforeseen things up ahead that you do not know. And giving up control is the best thing you could ever do. So what comes to my mind is last year I had a friend, and I messaged her. I'm like, hey, where are you? And she was actually in Vietnam, the place that I'll be going to, right? So over the weeks, we kept in touch. And then she said, hey, I'll be going to like where I was at that time, Ho Chi Minh City. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this, right? This will be so cool. And, it got to a point where something in me just said like, nah, I'll be going to Korea next year. So let's just meet there over at your hometown, because I've never been there, right? And so she said, okay, sure, fine. And then when I was showering, like that day, it just hit me like I was forcing her not to go because I didn't want to disrupt her. She's going to fly out to see me, right? I didn't want to disrupt her I was just like, no, I don't want her to spend money. I don't want her to do that, whatever. And I was just forcing. I felt a heaviness in forcing that. And it hit me like, what am I doing? There were like probably a couple of years, a year or a half where we haven't seen each other. And I was like, what am I doing? There's only this moment, we can't wait till next year. We don't know what is going to happen next year, which is 2017, right? And I just said, bummo. So I texted her, I said, hey, you know what? I told her the story of me being in the shower and the thing that came into me. And I said, you know what? Let's not waste another moment. Come on in, let's go on. And she did. And, out of that, me just letting go of the control of like, because I was thinking about the schedule. I have students there, and this was in the Ridiculous Live Experiential, and I didn't know like how the schedule would be. I didn't know her, just like the whole thing. But see, out of that came out a wonderful soul naked conversation between her and I, and it just deepened me, deepened her, deepened our bond, and it was something to be held. It was awesome. And I mean, I can just even look back at the last few months where I just let go. And letting go is the most freeing thing you can do, because other things will show up that you couldn't have planned it with so much consultation, so much coaches, the best masters, the best advice. But for me now, it's all just coming back to aligning myself, things happen so much, which people, talk about like, stress-free living, or like resistance-free, or not to stress, not to frustrate, not to force yourself. But the thing is, they're forgetting is, I've been aligning my heart and my spirit so that anyone that comes into my circle, to my radar, quickly will know if they're aligned with me, whether it be in work, relationship, or what have you. And it's such it's a miracle when that happens. Divine connections, divine opportunities happen, where even right now I'm dealing with some relationships where they're not really in divine alignment with me, and I just have to tell them like, hey, look, this is where I'm headed. You already know who I am, so if we're not in alignment, it's okay. We can just, because for them not to control like our relationship, they will be in their alignment to what they were called to do, what they were meant to be here on this earth. And life becomes really fun amidst the circumstances, amidst the things that we all go through. Life just becomes more effortless and more fun. And that's why, I wake up daily and I'm just like, another day. It's so beautiful, right? And I put KK song on and boom. And the thing is, it's here. It's here. If, one more thing is like, see, I have a list of like different countries and places that we're gonna visit. And, I have a couple friends, probably a couple. And people have heard me say like, I kind of like have a hard time finding people who could fly with me, travel where for at least 2 weeks at this given location, because most people can't. They'll tell me like, Jersey, I have to get back in 3 days, 4 days, because that's my office leave. And I'm like, gee, why can't I? And you know what? I've let that go. I'm not anymore like purposely looking for people to do that with, because I know the more aligned I am, I'm gonna start meeting people who are also aligned with me. Where let's do that, let's go. And I remember I used to like every time I talk to people, my friends, there's something in me that will say like, hey, you know where we're going here, we're going to Egypt, we're going to, you know, we crossed out, you know, Maldives because that's like Philippines, but it's just like, that's like a graduated Philippines, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to places that, you know, Ireland's really beautiful, I'm telling you, because it's one of the most spiritual places I've ever been. I need to get people there, but, so there's a list of like places, Greece, right? And that was me trying to like, come on, I'm showing you the cool places we're going to, you might join us. You have to join us. And see, that's coming from the egoic mind of me trying to control their thinking like, oh, I gotta go there. Now I was like, imagine what that would look like on your Facebook, you know, like, because we found a spot in Egypt, it's the only place where you wake up, the pyramid is right out your window, right? And we got a great deal because of a friend of ours. And so, you know, I was just like, bring that, but there was a tension in me doing that. Instead of me, like at this moment now, it's like, I don't care. The right people will show up in my life, those who want fun, those who want to travel, and, you know, just like the good stuff. So it's just about letting go and trusting the God in life. And, you know, one of my favorite verses in the Bible is, and I quote it constantly to myself to speak it out in confession, is, all the lines in my life, or the lines have fallen pleasantly in my life. That means things will orchestrate for me to have that life. I don't need to know where, how, what, who, why, but if I can constantly every day am in alignment with what brings me lightness, what makes me feel free. And I've just like now, I have a buddy who says, man, it's about your heart screaming. When your heart screams for something, you're probably on the right path. And I'm talking about like screaming, like, see, I'm like looking like, should I, because right now I'm in a wide open space and I could go any single place. And I was looking at Peru, I was looking at Brazil, Colombia, just to go head out there. But then I'm like, I felt a force, like, what am I trying to do? I'm just gonna let life bring me to where I need to bring, for life to bring me where I need to be. And I have no expectation. I have no expectation at all wherever it decides this is the next step. So yeah, so that's it. And it's beautiful.